and hit record, and we will go ahead and get started. That's the last slide. All right, love. So tonight I wanted to teach you guys all about how to rock your power hour and how to save time. The reason I got inspired to do this call was because a lot of people have been I just kept getting a lot of questions about it, and then I had to think back to okay, actually this month it's been 3 years since I quit my full-time job, and I had to think back into that moment because I was a new coach. I basically quit my job within a few months after I started really actively working my coaching business. So when I was still at my full-time job, I worked 80 hours a week sometimes. I was on call 24/7 and doing my master's degree too. So I had to really figure out how to do this whole scheduling, time saving thing and fit all of this in. So I felt like it was super important to show you guys and to just give you guys a glimpse into what I do on a daily basis. I think my conversation with you, Katie, inspired this call too, because you had asked in the team page about this. And then I was like, oh yeah, we did a live power hour video or power hour call. So I think it would be cool if we do one of those again. Raise your hand if you would want to do a live power hour together again. So tonight we're going to kind of do that, but not really. A live power hour would us all to get on at the same, can't even talk, for us to all get on at the same time and do our power hours together. So we'll put something on the books for that. Maybe we can do that during the time slot for one of our weekly Success Club calls. So anyways, that's why we're talking about what we're talking about tonight. So thanks, Katie, for the inspiration. Before we get into it, I want to just give some recognition to all of our Success Club rock stars from the month of March. So in Success Club 10, we had Lisa and Mariah. Success Club 5 and up, we had Whitney, Megan, Labrie, Chelsea, Janine, Debbie, Gina, Kala, myself, Michaela, Shayna, Dana, and Leah. People that were close, we have Christina, Jamie, Melanie, Alyssa, Jade, Amanda, Rebecca, Zachary, Ali, Erica, Aiza, Christina, Miranda, Heather, Jessica P, Miriam, Leslie, Jessica M, Meg, Hannah, Hattie, Lydia, Katie, Shayna, Kate Lewis, Sarah B, Erica, Kelly, Amy, Nikki, Christina, and Christine. Christine makes these for me now, but she didn't put her own name on here, and Christine should be on here too. So here's some need to know for the week from the, I'm having trouble articulating my thoughts today, clearly. So this is need to know for this week, what's going on in the Beachbody world. So we have challenge pack sales for the month of April. I will give you guys all of that info on the next slide. The National Wake Up Call this week was from one of my friends, Shay. She's absolutely amazing. It's on building trust, not transactions. So you can listen to the replay all week by dialing in that number you can see above, 832-225-5065, or you can also listen to it on the Beachbody app, or I'm sorry, the Beachbody podcast in the podcast app. That's how I usually listen to it. I still have to listen to the one from this week. So I've heard that it was absolutely awesome though. I know Shay is amazing. Also, we have finishing up this week our 5-day Shakeology and free clean eating challenge. I got all these ideas that kind of just flooded into my brain this weekend. If you guys haven't noticed, it's been happening a lot lately, but I got all these ideas on how to make the interaction better in our challenge group. And I invited some people that are my dream team. I want them to be coaches, but they're not yet. I've invited them, but they don't want to do it, but I know that they're going to. Anyways, I invited some of them to join in on the group. And then just some of my prospects, as the free clean eating part. I actually didn't have anyone purchase the 5-day Shako thing. So mine are all free clean eating peeps. But I have about 20 something people in there. And these are people that have been ignoring me for months. And I already have 2 of them that want to purchase something just because we're working on building that trust and that relationship. And they're getting a ton of value from this group. This group is probably the group that I've seen the most interaction in and the most excitement, other than my PIO group that I did in 2014 when it first came out. So this is a really good sign, guys. And if we can keep this momentum up and just duplicate what we did this month, shit's gonna explode. And all we have to do is just do what we did this month, which was really easy. We just split up tasks between people, and we have a lot of people posting in there. So I'm going to make a video for you guys tomorrow and post it in the team page on how to transition those people into a longer challenge. And if you would like to know more before I make the video, you can actually head over to the files section. Christine actually, sometimes Christine's doing assistant stuff for me, so sometimes when you see me post, sometimes it's actually Christine posting for me, so thank you, Christine. So Christine updated the file in here. Where is it at? Oh, it's the first one. It's called Transitioning Challengers. So it goes through what to say in conversations with people and what to ask people to transition them from a shorter challenge to a longer challenge. This is how my sponsor taught me how to do it. My sponsor is in the Millionaires Club, so she knows her stuff. So that's in there, but I'll make a video tomorrow too. Also, I felt compelled to throw this out there because I know we have some Jesus lovers on the team, and I love Jesus too. And sometimes I cuss, and I don't do that to offend anybody. I kind of just want to make my point and still love Jesus at the same time. So random side note. But anyway, so that is wrapping up this week. Transition them, video tomorrow on more details. Also starting next Monday, we are doing a recruiting blitz. And when we've done recruiting blitzes in the past, doing multiple recruiting blitzes is how I've been able to double, triple, quadruple my income within a few months' time. And I've done that multiple times throughout my coaching career. I learned it from Eric Worre. Many of us are going to his conference this month or watching it virtually. It works. It's amazing. And you're going to help so many people. It's easy. I have been top recruiter on the National Wake Up Call. It's been some time because my focus now is not to recruit that many people. My focus is to recruit quality over quantity, but there's a need for both. So sometimes I still do quantity, but we'll talk more about that in the recruiting blitz. But I've recruited 20 people in a week before. Like, it's super simple. I'll teach you guys how to do it. And we're going to have an opportunity webinar next week that Hattie and I will be doing on Thursday night after the team call. So at 9:00 Eastern time. I'll have a flyer for you guys soon and more information on it. We'll have all of that up by the end of the week. And at the end of the recruiting blitz, we're going to teach you how to close your prospects to get them signed up. And we're going to give you a roadmap on exactly what to post about every day, what to do on a daily basis to make it really easy for you. We've done many of these before, and I've seen countless people on the team rank advance from doing these and, really grow their income. And we're also going to do it where it's really fun and you can earn cash prizes. So more on that soon. Also, the third week of the month, we're doing the PIO and Personal Development Challenge. I believe that we decided to call it the Love Yourself Challenge. We are in a group message now brainstorming all of that. So there'll be more info for you, and we'll also have a flyer available for you soon as well on the third week of the month if you want to join us for that. What I'm going to do is transition my people from my free clean eating challenge going on this week and invite them tomorrow and Saturday to my PIO and Personal Development Challenge. So if you're doing that and you're doing the sales funnel that I keep talking about, how you start them with a smaller challenge, transition them to a longer challenge, and then invite them to Sneak Peek Week, guess what? Sneak Peek Week is right after our PIO and Personal Development Challenge starts. So more on that later. Here are the challenge pack sales for the month. We have Hammer and Chisel. They have the Beachbody Club challenge pack. You can also get it with the sorry, I'm like reading what it's saying and trying to comprehend it, and for some reason it's not making sense to me. Oh, the Kickstart challenge pack is the one with the 3-day refresh. That's what I was thinking, but I was trying to see what was in the picture. It was small. And then they also have the Club Performance challenge pack, which that comes with like the performance line stuff. So those are the specials. And if you ever need any of this information, it is located on Beachbody Coach 411 Facebook page, and it's always in our Coach Online office. If you're logged into your Coach Online office, the updates are always in the top right hand corner. So I check those every single day to make sure that I'm in the know on what's going on. So what you'll learn tonight, I'm going to teach you guys how to prioritize your time and your schedule, how to eliminate distractions, how to get organized and create systems, and a visual example of my Power Hour process. And I saw that you guys were typing in the chat box, and I forgot to look. Let me see what you guys said. Carl has been doing them live on Facebook too. It's pretty cool to be able to watch it and not just listen. It's been a good group. Christine, what were you talking about that Carl is doing live on Facebook? Because I don't even know when you actually typed that. You can type in the chat box and let me know. I'm going to keep going for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So first I want to talk about how to prioritize your time and schedule. And I want to see a show of hands, so let me X'd out of this again. Raise your hand if you're one of those people that like you kind of run around all the time and you always have all this energy and you struggle with staying focused and you want to do 8,000 things at one time. I'm that way. I know Dana's that way. I had a feeling we would all raise our hands because like attracts like, so I figured we would all say yes. But I am that person and I still struggle with it. But I mean, you can ask Dana because she was here in Hawaii with me. Like when I sit down and do my fucking power hour, like again, and when I cuss, it's not to be offensive, it's try to make a point. When I like when I sit down, like I put my blinders on and I go to business. Like sometimes I can still get distracted, but I've gone from like spending like, I used to spend 10 hours a day trying to work my business, honestly, because I was so disorganized, so distracted. And now I can do in 3 hours what I used to get done in 10 hours. I'm not even kidding you guys. So all the stuff that I'm teaching you, I struggle with it too, but I've just made it intentional to get really good at this stuff. You can make your weaknesses your strengths. I just thought of that because recruiting used to be my weakness too. And now it's one of my biggest strengths. So whatever you focus on, you will get better at. So anyways, I want to talk to you guys about how to prioritize your time and your schedule. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what your priorities are and rate each one of them on a scale of 1 to 5. So some ideas may be family, friends, God, your spirituality, whatever you want to call it, your business, health, etc. So just an idea of how mine is, God is first, then my health, and then my family, not because I want to put myself above my family or my friends or my relationships or my business, because the thing is the last few years, I put everything else above me and my health. And when I say health, I also mean mental health. Like I am the kind of person that will go, put everyone first, and I'll be exhausted because I'm putting everyone first. So I've learned by being out of balance and out of whack and not focusing on myself first, that in order to do that, or in order to be the best me for other people, I have to put my health first and I have to focus on what's most important first so I can be the best for them. Because if I'm showing up in my relationships and I'm not taking care of me first, then I'm really not going to be able to show up in my best way to where I can really help people and be there for them. So that's what you have to do, is you have to figure out your priorities and you have to rate them. And don't judge yourself if one comes before the other. If God isn't your first one or spirituality isn't your first one, like that's okay. Everyone's will be different. But what you have to do once you do that and be really honest with yourself is you have to schedule time for everything, and you have to kind of give everything a bucket. So what I mean by that is, I'll kind of tell you guys what I used to do when I had my full-time job that I worked 80 hours a week at times. I would wake up 4 hours before I had to go to work every day because I wanted to have, number one, my God time. And then after that, I would do my Chalene Extreme and drink my Shakeology or make breakfast or whatever I was having. And then I would sit down and do my personal development. And then I would send out some invites. And then probably by the time that was over, I would like take a shower and get ready for work. Then I would go to work. On my lunch break, I would do my business stuff again because my priorities were a little bit different back then because I wanted to get the F out of my job. And, my business, it did come before my health for a while, to be quite honest. But, I learned, and now I can teach people how to be more balanced. So I would work my business during lunch. I would go back to work, come home, and work more business stuff. I really didn't have much of a social life for a couple years. And even though I was out of balance, it was honestly worth it to make the sacrifices that I made to have the freedom that I can have now. I just tried to make it a point. I went to church every weekend. I tried to do something with friends at least once a month. I know this kind of doesn't sound like that much, but again, my priorities were different back then because I wanted to make the sacrifices so that I could get out of my job to have the freedom later. And then with my family, I would just try to make sure, that I talk to them on the phone at least once a week or whatever. So again, that's just me. That's how I operate. I kind of tend to do my own thing anyway. Like I love to be around people, but like I have to have my own space too. I'm very independent. So like I don't have to talk to someone every day. Like I just don't operate that way. So that's just me, but I'm just giving you an example. And then what I mean by the buckets is putting everything into a bucket. So let's say that you make Wednesday night your date night with your spouse. Well, when you're on your date night with your spouse, try to put your cell phone up in your purse and don't take it out. don't let the buckets spill into each other. So if you're spending time with your spouse, don't be having your phone out, like checking your clean eating challenge group and being like, oh, look what Dana just posted. That looks really tasty. Like, enjoy your time with your spouse. And if you're working your business, be clear with your family or your significant other, whoever it is, the important people in your life, be clear with them and tell them what your priorities are and what your focus is now, and that you're doing this so that you can have more time with them later, and that this is your time right now. So what you're doing is you're scheduling your day based around your priorities and based around your buckets, and don't let the buckets spill into one another. So one thing I used to be really bad at, and you can also ask Dana about this because she was here in Hawaii with me, I used to check my phone first thing when I got up in the morning. And then I would notice I felt all this anxiety, like my brain was all over the place. So I actually put my phone on airplane mode. My notifications are off. My phone is on vibrate only if you call me. If you text me, it doesn't even make a noise. And I do not turn my phone on unless it's to take one little picture for a Snapchat, but I try to not even do that. I go with 1 hour without my phone when I wake up, because that's my God time, and I'm not going to be doing my business stuff during my God time. I used to try to do my business stuff, like instead of doing Beachbody DVDs, sometimes I would go on the treadmill so I could like voice text and work. Like, that's not being effective. When you're doing so many things at one time, you can't focus on the one thing that you're trying to do, and it's completely ineffective. That's why I went from working 10 hours a day to 3 hours a day. And that's just an example. I work more than that sometimes, and sometimes I used to work more than 10 hours a day, to be honest. But I basically like cut my time in more than half because I got more focused, because multitasking does not help anybody. So get up early if you need to. Don't feel bad about saying no to people. I used to always say yes to everything. Like, I wanted to volunteer at church. I wanted to do everything and be everything to everybody. And because of that, I wasn't being good for anybody, because I was so stretched thin and so stressed out, and I said yes to everything. And then I got really clear on what I wanted. I got clear on how to create boundaries and say no out of love. And, don't let people run my day. Like, there's like a quote that I'm trying to say and I can't say it, but like, you have to be in control of your own day. You run your day. Don't let it run you. That's what I was trying to say. So there's a really good book called The Best Yes. It's by Lisa TerKeurst. She also wrote the book Made to Crave. She was a guest speaker at my church in North Carolina. She's absolutely amazing. It's all about how to say yes to what your priorities are and how to create boundaries out of love. So it's not, being rude to people by saying no. It's actually, it's all about saying yes when you really want to say yes, and making that your best thing that you can do. So like I was saying earlier, you can also kind of like schedule your business time in throughout the day and see where you have time. Like, I heard somewhere before, and I've tried this and it's really crazy. For one day, just write down everything that you do in a day. Like, literally every little thing, like 9:59 a.m., randomly checked Instagram notifications. 10:01 a.m., scrolled Instagram for no reason. Like, every little thing, like write every little thing down and look at your time wasters that you have, and then ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now going to help me reach my goal or goals, whatever it may be? And this is something that I still have to catch myself doing. Like, when I was prepping for this call, I was making a post, and then somehow I got stuck on Instagram because I saw these notifications, and I'm like, no, like, I have to get ready for the team call. Like, this is not going to help me reach my goal. Like, I have to get off Instagram. So I literally just have to like yell at myself, like in a nice way, of course, out of love. This is also something that I've heard many successful, like, top coaches talk about, is to ask yourself also, like, or to pretend that you have a hidden camera following you around and that your team is watching it, and that they're going to do everything that you do throughout the day. Because everything we do, our team does too. People do what they see. They don't really do what you tell them to do necessarily. So they're going to watch what you're doing. So if you have a team and you're trying to be a good leader and you want them to duplicate what you're doing, you have to be very intentional about how you're living your day. And this is something that I was terrible at when I was in California, because I got depressed. But you know, now I was actually just telling the lady I live with earlier, I'm like, you know, a lot of days I want to just like go to the beach and not do anything, but I don't, because like I have this team of people that I want to help reach their goals and they need me, and I have to be the example for them and do the things that I want them to do because I want them to be successful, not because I want people to do things. So that's a little bit on how to prioritize your time and your schedule. Some other things that have helped me is to set timers. Don't get sucked in the Facebook inbox or notifications. I used to do this all the time. You can actually, let me see. Oh, you guys are typing in the chat. I'm the same way. It's been weird getting used to having someone around 24/7. Yeah, it definitely is a different thing. So on Facebook, if you're down here at the chat thingy, mine is off. If yours is on, go turn it off. Like, I want you all to go look. I'm going to give you a minute now. Please, everybody, go look and see if your chat is off. If it is not off, go turn it off right now. I have a hidden camera and I can see you. And I'm going to ask everyone to take a screenshot of their computer at the end of this call. I want you to do it. Well, I want you to do it right now. I want you to take a screenshot of your computer and turn your chat off. So take the screenshot after you've done it. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, you just click on that little wheel thing. It's the options or settings or whatever. And you can do turn off chat. Because if you don't have your chat turned off, you're going to have 80 million little windows popping up down here. All right. So while you guys are doing that, I'll give you another minute since we're talking about notifications and such. Another thing, oh shit, I just turned mine on. Let me turn that off. So I turn it off for all friends, by the way, when this pops up. Also, you guys see my notifications up here, my messages, and how I have 96 notifications. I like never actually check these notifications. For the most part, I might check it a couple times a week, but I do what I need to do in the groups, and the groups are going to notify me anyway. I don't look up here because that's a time waster. I have way more than 13 unread messages. I have over 100, but that's just, I've gotten 13 messages in like just in the last half hour, but I don't look at that. I have to put my blinders on, I have to put timers on, and I have to eliminate distractions. Okay, so everybody raise your hand if you have your chat off and you have your screenshot. So I want to see your screenshots. This is some real talk, y'all. Everyone got their chat turned off, or do you guys still need a minute? Raise your hand if you still need a minute to turn your chat off, because this is serious business. Okay, I'm going to assume everybody's good. But we're going to come back to that to make sure. I have it off, but trying to take a screenshot. Okay, I have a Mac, so I only know how to take a screenshot on a Mac. If you're on a Mac, you hit Command-Shift-3. I don't know how to take a screenshot on another computer, but I can Google it real quick for you guys, because I didn't know how to take a screenshot on my computer until I just Googled it. Excuse me. It says, press the window logo key plus PRT-SCN. If you're using a tablet, press the Windows logo button and the volume down button. Shit, where did you guys go? There you are. Here, I'll screen share what I'm looking at. Has everybody got it? Raise your hand if you still need a minute. I'll leave that up so we'll come back to it so that I can keep going. Okay, so what I mean by timers, I'm going to go over the Power Hour checklist with you guys here in a minute, but you can actually, on the iPhones, if you go to your clock, like where your alarm is, it's down here at the bottom, and it just says timer, like on the bottom right. And it'll come up with like this time thingy, and you can set it for whatever you want to. So if you want to do your invites for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you just click it to 10 minutes and then you hit start. And that's literally how I have to run my Power Hour, because otherwise I'll take a whole hour to do invites if I'm not careful. Let me see what you guys are saying. Mine must be off. I do not see it. Cool. Oh wait, someone else just said something. I'll check it in a minute. Okay. Also, when you're prioritizing your time and scheduling things in, this is just something that I mentioned earlier, but if it's really important for you to have freedom, I'm not telling you to like absolutely have no life, even though that's what I did for 2 years, basically, unless it's that worth it to you. But I would definitely recommend for you to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. I mean, the people that are the most successful and have done it quickly, we lost sleep. We didn't have a social life. I gave up on TV. Like, I literally gave up all TV. I used to be addicted to TV. Now I really don't even care about it. I stopped watching TV. I stopped socializing for about 2 years. I mean, I went intense. I went all in, but I also created a 6-figure income in 2 years. So to me, it was worth it. Looking back, were there some things I could have tweaked? Sure, but everything happens for a reason, That's why the whole buckets are so important, because you can still, make lots of sacrifices and work, hard on your business, work smarter as well, but also just, making time for your other priorities as well, even if that's only making sure you do something once a week. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There have been times in my business where I worked 14 hours a day for like a whole month straight. But when I did that, my income quadrupled and I was able to pay off all my debt. So again, this is not me trying to force you guys to do anything. I'm just kind of telling you that for me, I kind of found that like not every day is going to be this perfect harmony of balance, as long as I'm balanced back out in the end. So after I did that 14-hour days for 30 days straight, I probably just did a power hour every day for about a month, and, it all worked out. So I also recommend creating office hours for yourself. So if you go to work 9 to 5, maybe some of your office hours are like 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. I mean, I used to have to wake up really early before my old job to like get stuff done. Maybe your other 30 minutes of your office hours are 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I've heard all the top coaches in the company talk about, making sacrifices, losing out on sleep, losing out on social plans, stuff like that. So that they could have a long-term gain and so that they could have freedom quicker, but that they were also intentional about their time. I know Amy Silverman, who just became in the Millionaires Club, and she's been a top 10 coach like the last 2 or 3 years. She talks all about balancing and sacrificing to have more freedom later. But I watched a call that she listened to, and she literally had every minute of her day scheduled out because she was a student. She had 2 jobs and she had all these other obligations going on, and she started her business and she was doing insanity trying to lose weight, and she did it all. And she's amazing. So, you can set aside just make sure that you're setting aside time for all your buckets. So time for working out, time for doing your posts, your meal prep, spending time with family, all of those things. And just find pockets throughout the day, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe it's before work, on lunch, after work, on weekends. I used to do a lot on the weekends. My sponsor used to work with me when I lived in Georgia. That's how I knew her. And there's this place, I know Dana knows it because she lives there, called Lulu's Chocolate Bar. And we would go there every Friday night and do like a business brainstorm thing. And then on Saturdays, a lot of times we would go to, I think it's called Gallery Espresso, which is like a local coffee shop. And we would sit there on a Saturday from like 9 to 5, basically, sometimes longer, sometimes 8 p.m. with our laptops. And we would go to work. And then we would go out to dinner after that. And, I still did that. Like when I moved to North Carolina, I barely had any friends there. I mean, I knew tons of people. I can make friends easily, but I didn't go out and socialize all the time. I was making those sacrifices, working those long hours on my own, but it was worth it. So also make sure you break your goals down into manageable action steps. So if we have really big goals, which I know we all do, we can get very overwhelmed by them. When I look at my long-term goals, I want to move my parents here to Hawaii. I want to grow my income to $20,000 a week, a week. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I do that? How am I going to get there? How am I going to help all these people on our team reach all their goals? And you have to just not think about that. You have to break down your big goal into daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and give yourself the action steps. So if you want to be a diamond coach by a certain date, okay, what things do you need to do to be a diamond coach? Run challenge groups, invite to coaching, do your 3 vital behaviors. So just break that down on a daily basis and write out your to-do list for the day. Break down each thing that you need to do. If you have projects that you're working on, like maybe you're creating challenge groups or new content, make time for that. Prioritize it. Break it down into small action steps. Oops. Okay, so we kind of already did this, but I wanted to talk about how to eliminate distractions. Like I said, I turn off all notifications on my phone. Like I literally went to my settings on my iPhone and I turned everything off. I turned off my ringer. When I get text messages, it doesn't vibrate. The only time I hear anything is when my phone vibrates, if someone calls me. So I do have my notifications on for my text messages. Oh, we only have 10 minutes. Dear Lord Jesus, we might have to restart this one as the second one. So if you can see, I'm pretty OCD. This is my phone. As you can see, there's no notifications on there except I have like 20 something text messages. But all my social media is up here. And what I did is I turned off all the notifications on it, because if I constantly see that I have over 100 notifications on every social media, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to be stressed out. I'm not going to be able to live in the moment. All my buckets are going to spill into one another. I'll be distracted. I will be wasting time. So I highly recommend turning off all your notifications as well. Don't check your Facebook newsfeed or notifications either, like we talked about, until after you're done working. Put your blinders on. I don't have to do this quite as intensely anymore, but Chalene Johnson, I think, talked about this in a podcast that I listened to on time management. And she said to put your phone across the room. She actually talks about putting your phone on airplane mode when you're working, and don't answer it if it rings or buzzes. I mean, obviously if it's some kind of emergency, sure. But if it's an emergency, they're probably going to call you 5 times in a row. That's what I found. So again, it's just focusing on what is happening now. Because if you keep answering the phone or keep answering texts, or every time a notification pops up, you stop what you're doing, you're never going to finish. Believe me, I used to do it. So like I was talking about earlier, make your priorities clear to other people. Share with them and tell them why your sacrifice is important and how it will help you later. Live in the now. Do what you're doing. Be all in where you are right now. Many of you, let me see who's on here. Well, Dana's really the only person that's hung out with me in person so far. We only have 3 minutes. We're definitely going to have to start a second one. Whenever I am with other people, I put my phone up. Unless I'm doing a post, I do not like to be on my phone when I'm hanging out with someone else. Half the time I forget to take pictures, or I get so in the moment that I forget that I even have a phone. So be in the moment when you're with, your loved ones and your friends. Also just prioritize any projects or your to-do list, like I said a minute ago, based on your priorities. And all you really have to do to eliminate distractions is, that's not all of it, but just focus on the Success Club daily checklist. That's what I posted in the team page earlier. If you go into the files section, it's in there. And this is what it looks like. It shows you exactly what to do each day. It's basically the 3 vital behaviors broken down. And Beachbody calls it the business activity tracker, but I think Success Club daily checklist sounds cooler. And plus ours is a little bit more user-friendly and less overwhelming. So if you go into the file section in the team page, this is just a screenshot. If you scroll all the way down, it's right here. It says Success Club Daily Checklist. And the file will show you where you can click a link that will bring up that Success Club Daily Checklist. It's right there, like I showed you guys. So let's see. How much time do we have left? 2 minutes. Katie, I know you messaged me about the other conferencing thing. I saw it pop up. So we're going to do those from now on and not do Zoom, I think. So we don't have to get off of here at 40 minutes. So thank you for that, Katie. Let me do this slide real quick, and then we'll do a separate Zoom call on exactly what I do during my power or my process. So how to get organized and create systems. Have a comprehensive contact list to track your invites. Don't stop till you've invited them all, and focus on one social media at a time. Have a prospect list, update your notes with the info on that person you're talking to. Have a process for what order you do your power hour in. I do my personal development first to get in the right mindset. Utilizing timers. Follow the calendar, transitioning people, focusing on challenge groups first part of the month and recruiting the second part of the month. Again, this is our calendar that's in the team page if you need it. It's in the photo albums and it's pinned to the top of the page. So it'll give you a focus on what to do every single day so you're not overwhelmed. And this is what my power hour looks like. I'm going to start another Zoom call since it's about to kick us off. So what I'm going to do is go through this process and screen share and show you guys. I just got flowers. That's really weird. Okay. So I'll see you guys in a minute, and I'll go over everything. Bye.